Summer sausage. Let's make some. This is going to be a beef and pork sausage. We're going to get started here with the beef. This is about 5 pounds of some roasts that I picked up at the meat market. And I'm just going to cube them up small enough to fit into the throat of my grinder. This meat is partially frozen, so it cuts really easily. Okay, once I have it all cubed up, I put it back into the freezer, make sure it's nice and firm before putting it into the grinder. Here's that piece of pork belly I was talking about, pretty fatty. Like I say, I just wanted to make sure I had enough fat in this sausage, so pork belly is always a good option. And that will go into the freezer with the meat, and I leave it there for about an hour. While that's chilling along with the parts for the grinder, I'm going to mix up my seasoning and my cure. Here I'm going to add everything except for the encapsulated citric acid. That will get added just before stuffing so it doesn't get broken up. Okay, and there you saw I had some, adding some nutritional yeast. Summer sausage is normally a fermented sausage, and to mimic that, I used the encapsulated citric acid, which gives it the acidity from fermenting, but you don't get the cheesy kind of funk that you get from fermenting when you only use the citric acid. So the nutritional yeast adds that flavor to it. I picked that, I got that tip from Eric at Two Guys in a Cooler. You should definitely go check out his channel if you haven't yet. And all of the ingredients will be listed in the description as a percentage of the total weight of your meat. And now I'm just assembling my cold grinder parts, and we're going to get this meat ground up. About the encapsulated citric acid, you don't want to use just regular citric acid. If you do that, it will break down your meat and you'll end up with a horribly crumbly sausage that won't bind well at all. The encapsulated citric acid is little granules that are coated in something. I don't know what's encapsulating the citric acid. But what happens is when you cook the sausage and it hits a certain temperature, don't quote me on this, I think it's about 150 degrees, the encapsulation breaks and then the acid is released into the sausage. But by that time, everything is already bound and you're all good. You see here, I'm adding some ground pork shoulder. It's a couple of pounds, it's a kilo. I'm adding that in there now and we'll get it mixed in with the beef. Okay, now I'm adding in all of the spices except the citric acid again, like I said earlier. And then we will knead and mix and fold and squish the meat until we have a nice tight bind. I usually wait until after I get everything mixed up to see if I think I need to add any liquid, and in this case I did, which I added 10% water, and you can see that going in there. Okay, now that everything's mixed up and tacky, it's going to go into a bowl, into the refrigerator overnight. Let all of the spices hydrate, the flavors come together, and to let the cure do its magic. Okay, it's the next day, and I'm going to soak my fibrous casings in some water. They need to soak for at least 20 minutes before you can stuff them, so I get them soaking while I get my meat out of the fridge and get the encapsulated citric acid mixed into it. As you can see there, it's nice and sticky, got a good bind. Time to get it loaded into the stuffer. Working with these fibrous casings was pretty nice because I don't have to worry so much about blowouts, and I stuffed these pretty dang tight, and I didn't have any issues with rips or blowouts or anything like that. And when I was filling them, I just made sure I left enough room at the end that I could twist it up and tie a nice butcher's knot on the end of it. Okay, it's all cased up, and I'm just gonna let them sit here and air dry for a little while I get the smoker fired up. And here they are in the smoker. Let these smoke with a little smoke tube there filled with maple. I let them go for an hour at 110 degrees, 2 hours at 135 degrees, and then I pulled them out. And then they go into a vacuum seal bag and into the sous vide at 155 degrees for 4 hours before I pull them out and put them into an ice bath to cool. Okay, once they're down to temp, I removed them from the vacuum seal bags, put them on a wire rack, and I'm going to leave them sitting overnight to bloom. And here's the cut. And the reveal. Man, that looks good. Nice tight bind. You can see everything in there. Well, that summer sausage done. You can see when I cut it, it's got a good bind. It's holding together. It's nice and flexible. Still pretty moist. You can see the mustard seeds in there. I put black and yellow because I didn't have enough yellow. So we'll see how that tastes. The fibrous casing peels off real easy, and you can see there's a nice, still got a good smoke color around it. Smells like summer sausage. So here's the real test. That summer sausage. You get the little acidity from the citric acid and that little bit of fermented funk from that nutritional yeast. Shout out to Eric from 2 Guys in a Cooler for that tip. Yeah, this is great. Here's the test. Little saltine cracker. Little bit of sharp cheddar cheese. This is my childhood in a snack. That makes me happy. And you saw I had more sausage than I had casings, so I put these in a dried casing. It's a dried hog casing. I didn't know how it would turn out, but it turned out really good. It got a great bind on it, and it's all good. I did not do these in the sous vide because it was so small. It was almost done. Now it's on the floor. Hopefully I get it before the cat comes down. I didn't do it in the sous vide because it was so small. It wouldn't take very long to keep it going in the smoker. The larger ones I did in the sous vide because I was afraid they would take forever in the smoker. And then this way I can let it hold precisely at temperature. That way I know it's safe. It's basically pasteurized now because I held it in the sous vide for about 4 hours at 155 degrees, so anything in there is gone. And I'm giving this away as gifts, so I wanted to make sure that it was safe. So let me know if you have any questions. Hit that thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks if you have, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.